And we're on air. Hello everyone, I'm ClockworkCartoon, full-time cartoon villain, and welcome back to Minecraft. Now, as I said, made mention of before on the last stream, and as well as in posts and on my Twitter account, I am now going to college. So I've kind of been having to adjust to living in the dorm, as well as trying to figure out what my schedule is going to be like. And from the overall looks of it, Saturdays might be the only time I can really stream, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, at the very least, I can still stream, you know? But what to do today? I thought Minecraft would be it's a nice way to get back into it. Nice, calm, relaxing. And as I believe I also mentioned last stream, I did do some off-screen or off-screen resource gathering. That way, now I can just go right back into building. And I need the bricks. I have to wonder, am I still... You might notice that that I'm talking a bit quieter now, or at least more softly? More softly? Yeah, I think that's how it goes. I'm not as loud. And, well, assuming that I ever am loud. But the main reason for that is because, like I said, I am living in the dorms. So I need to be courteous to other people and my neighbors and whatnot. I was actually lucky enough to get a single dorm room, which is probably the only reason why I'm even able to stream while I'm here at college. Is it getting darker? But... I suppose one thing that I should start talking about is... How's college been going for me? Well, this is actually technically my second year at the college I'm currently going to, which I'm not gonna say. But I spent 3 years in community college, and then this will be my second year at proper college. And I should also be graduating this year, so that's a fun thought. I have no idea what comes after graduation. But, hey, we can cross that bridge when we get there. I mean, there's always... I don't know, people always dream... Or streamers... Many streamers, some streamers... There are streamers out there who dream of being able to make streaming their full-time job. And it certainly is an appealing idea. The idea of just not only just having to make videos or play games as your day job, but also just that sense of independence, I suppose. Yep. I don't have a pick. As for me personally, I don't know, I don't think I could ever see streaming as a job. I mean, on one hand, there would be one amazing stroke of luck if I could... I don't have a pick. It would be one amazing stroke of luck if I could just have streaming as a full-time gig. But... well, I don't think I'd properly enjoy it that much. Who knows, maybe my opinion will change later down the line as I stream more often. But overall, I would say... I'd actually quite prefer a job in game design, if I'm being honest. I've always had an interest in game making, and... well, I always did introduce myself before as a game design student, which I still am, mind you, that hasn't changed. It's just, well... how to put this? I'm still a game design student, I'm still learning about game design, and I'm still, like, practicing in it. But I don't know, it seems a bit presumptuous to say game design student, or to really have any kind of title, I'd say, before you actually put in the proper work, you know? Like, don't call yourself a marketer if you haven't marketed something. Or, I don't know if everyone has that same opinion, but that's how I kind of view things. If you're gonna give yourself a title or call yourself something, you might as well do something to match, you know? I wonder... Actually, so there's this other game I got recently thanks to the Steam Fall sale. It's only one game, but it was called Endless Alice, which has been continuously described as Risk of Rain but anime. Now mind you, I haven't really... Well, I played Risk of Rain once for, funnily enough, a game design class. And it didn't really pique my interest, but I don't know, playing this Endless Alice game, it's been pretty fun. I might consider streaming it. I mean, while on one hand it is one of those, like, a lot of things going on type games, it's a PvE roguelike? Yeah, PvE roguelike. And while I don't think I've necessarily beaten any more than 3 bosses in a single run, I'd say it shouldn't be too bad to stream. Yeah. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I say thinking of like getting rid of this section so I can have just larger windows right here. And really, I have all this space, but what would I actually use it for? I guess that's like one of the big things when it comes to building in Minecraft. You often have like a lot of space, or houses normally need a lot of space for all sorts of things, amenities, electricity, what have you, plumbing and whatnot. But in Minecraft you have none of that stuff. So you don't actually need to invest that much in space, save for it as a stylistic choice. I'm gonna probably use diorite for archer so I don't need to use up more bricks. Have I actually... I don't know if I ever actually bothered to mine any andesite, granite, or diorite. A lot of people kind of see them as like the useless blocks, you know? But they are purely decorative, and they're not exactly like the most appealing, I would say. I don't know if like some people might some people might stand by diorite or maybe andesite, granite, and I've used andesite. Diorite is white, andesite is gray, and then granite is orange. I've used granite a few times for factory builds, mostly just because I just couldn't get enough brick, so I used diorite instead. Oh, I'm almost already gonna run out of this. Well, on the right side, I'll at least have the first floor done. Granted, I don't know if that's necessarily important, considering how I still don't know what to really fill these rooms with. And with all this space back here, I could definitely see this being storage. That as the enchanting room, and then enchanting over here, probably potions over there then if I want to keep all the Minecraft magical stuff in one place. By the way, I do want to apologize in case you hear anything in the background. Like I said, dorm rooms, so you may hear people like going down the hall or maybe talking next door. I was lucky enough to get a next door neighbor or a dorm neighbor that isn't loud or disruptive, and we kind of like checked with each other, tried to see like how loud we could feasibly get, and I guess surprisingly, when it comes from room to room, there isn't much noise crossover. But if something's happening in the hall, then there's some issues. If I wanted to get rid of like this entire thing and have basically have Okay, I'll figure that out later and see just how badly I want tall windows here. Yeah, but should we have something to divide? I feel like there should be some kind of dividing line between like the first and second story that's visible on the outside. I don't think wood, no. I don't think spruce would do as like being inlaid in between the two bricks. But maybe one of those blocks we were just talking about. I could definitely see andesite working well with bricks. Really, I'd say any kind of gray block works well with brick. Gray and darkly colored blocks work really well with brick. But andesite is probably like the cheapest and easiest one of the 3 decorative stones to get a hold of and use. I mean, yeah, there's technically cobblestone, but I don't think that's as nice looking. Now, surely I've mined some andesite. Cobble, 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 cobble. I really wanted to avoid this being another resource gathering stream. I guess this is what happens when you don't like plan out your build beforehand and get an idea of what resources you actually want to get or utilize or what have you. And it's getting dark out, so probably better to go mine andesite down here. That's an odd thought. Like, it's getting dark out, go down to the mines to mine. Because we all know that old song... bollocks. That old Minecraft song / proverb, don't mine at night. Stop. No. But when you really think about it, mining at night isn't really any different. Because night and day cycles really only have an effect on the surface. You know? There's no mechanical difference, no new mobs spawn, like, it doesn't matter whether you're mining day or night, the caves are still going to behave the same, have the same light levels, what have you. So, it's actually better to, it actually would be better to mine at night, purely because, well, you can't exactly go out at night, and you might as well do something. I mean, technically, you could also go to bed, but I don't know, why would you do that? Who needs sleep anyways? Especially in Minecraft 1.8, where you don't have any phantoms. It's odd how phantoms are one of those mobs that are just... They are hated, and yeah, they can be really annoying. Oh, that's iron. Phantoms are almost certainly really fucking annoying. But they're also probably one of the easiest mobs to actually deal with and handle, because you can just avoid them by sleeping, which most players probably will do. Holy shit! Where'd you come from? Which most players will probably do just normally throughout their playthrough. You can probably go an entire Minecraft playthrough, let's just define that as like starting the world and then beating the Ender Dragon, and you're not a speedrunner. You could go through a whole Minecraft playthrough and not encounter a phantom once. In fact, you don't even really need to encounter the phantoms, because the only thing their only real mob drop or mechanical use outside of a sort of encouragement to sleep, you know, outside beyond just the other mobs in the game, is that they drop phantom membranes, which can be used to repair your elytra, which you only really get when you have an piece of endgame content after you beat the Ender Dragon. So yes, you could, all the way from the start of the game to the moment you beat the Ender Dragon, you never have to encounter a single elytra. You never have to encounter a single phantom. And just in case. Can I actually sleep? I put this down here specifically because like too many mobs were spawning topside, so ironically enough it was safer to put my bed in the caves where that I had already lit up and there were fewer mobs around. I do need to go get bloody hell. I do need to go add some torches. Hello Enderman, you creepy fuck. Ah, I did have a pick. I just looked in the wrong chest. Where was I mining again? Yeah, there's also some... Aha. Okay, I think this area is a bit too dark. There we go. Might as well grab this while I'm here. And might as well use up this iron pick while I made it. Which way? Right, this way. Also, so, Mobs and Mounts updates, apparently. Still trip over my tongue. I'd say growing pains? I'm trying to get back into streaming, but I've always stumbled over my words. But Mounts of Mayhem. I keep wanting to say Mounts and Mayhem because the last update was like the caves and cliffs. So, Mounts and Mayhem, what do I think of it? Well, I think Minecraft really stopped being Minecraft a while ago, to be honest. Like I said, I think 1.8 is Minecraft for me, 1.12 is modded Minecraft for me, and then anything past that, it just feels like, well, I'm still playing modded Minecraft. I mean, there certainly are very interesting things. I am happy about the addition of the, Happy Gas as well as the Nautilus. In fact, one of my building projects that I would used to do whenever I joined the multiplayer world was to try building an underwater city or base, because at the time I was revisiting BioShock and really wanted to build Rapture. I never did actually finish it or end up doing it, mind you. What if this is a bedroom? I mean, it's a nice big area. People like having a big master bedroom. And then the use of andesite. Probably, yeah, polish. Actually, polish andesite or regular andesite? That is the question. By the way, first and foremost, I need to see like how the stairs will look. Oh, this was like pre-polished. Alright. Okay, so those weren't released yet. I keep saying how 1.8 is my version of Minecraft, but I keep forgetting what was and wasn't released by that time. Still plan on using it. Actually, were slabs introduced yet? I mean, stairs, certainly, but slabs, practically every block in this game has some kind of... Well, every building block in this game has some kind of slab variant, which makes me think... Really, they didn't even have the andesite slabs at this time. That really does make me question why they added in these building blocks. Because clearly, the only use granite, andesite, and diorite have is as, like, building decoration. But you don't include some of the major aspects of building blocks being slabs and stairs. You know, I think regular andesite, actually. Oh wait, if that's where the... Okay, good, I can... Something like that, perhaps? Or at that point, would it have been better to actually do the wood? And then... It would mean I wouldn't have to go mining for andesite. Oh, bollocks. Where are you? Oh, okay, so maybe I should do it from up here. But first, back to deciding, like, what do I want to do? So there's that option. You know, classic. There's that, or there's andesite. Andesite would probably work better if I also made these. Jesus. If I also made these like a, maybe not andesite, but any kind of gray block. Wood it is. Does it look better if it's jutting out? It doesn't really add much, but it'll at the very least make it look more consistent on the ends. And it'll save me slightly on brick. Ever so slightly. Now, did I accidentally cause anything to glitch in? Doesn't look like it, thank God. Hey, Modify Blue. And no, this ain't No, this is not Roblox. This is Patrick. So, I actually talking about earlier that about the whole announcement of the Mounts and Mayhem update, or Mounts of Mayhem update. Gotta say, now I do like the idea of the Nautilus, because underwater building was something I would often like to do in multiplayer servers, because I was really into Bioshock and always wanted to make Rapture. But I don't know, it's starting to feel like modded Minecraft by this point, which honestly, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but at the same time, it kind of makes me just want to play modded Minecraft. You know? Come on. Like, that's not the only thing that I think contributes to it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool stuff that they've added in these updates. I like the Nautilus, I like the Happy Gas, I like the Copper Golems, but I don't know, they just... maybe it's just me being old and nostalgic. The worst part about it is that the ocean and bedrock will kinda difficult to even build. Really? It's more difficult in bedrock? Is there like some kind of mechanical difference between how the water physics work? Should I have made these things jut out? Yeah, I probably should have made them jut out rather than making them... Oh, but that would take up so much more brick. I know, doing it like this makes it look too flat. Okay, real quick, I'm just gonna chop all this down and see how it looks if I go with the original andesite plan. But, where was I? One thing I am noticing though is that I don't know, there's been this weird trend when it comes to new mobs being added. And I say weird trend, but... So, it started with the Phantom, where it became this mob that was really annoying, and everyone disliked that. But then you had the Pillager raids, which weren't outright hated or disliked. However, people did kind of note that in Bedrock, drowned spawns so much as hordes. Oh, yeah, I can see how that would be an issue. Then I'm probably gonna need to break you. Where will I? And does that look better at all? You know, the more I try this out, the more I think that just using flat brick would be the better option. If I really want to like go back and add more depth to it, then I can just like build around it. What was I was saying something just moments before. Something about oh right, I was talking about mob progression. So I was on the Pillagers. Now the Pillagers get added, and while they weren't outright hated, there people were starting to point out that it was kind of annoying to have just Pillagers spawn randomly while you're trying to build or have a relaxing game, and then just mess your shit up. Now the thing with most other mobs is that you only really have to deal with them in caves or at night. And the Phantoms were kind of like that, annoying as they were. Pillagers, and really... I say Pillagers specifically, not Illagers, and I'll explain why later. But Pillagers, the reason why people found them annoying is that they weren't restricted to any specific location, biome, or time of day. They could just appear and you'd have to deal with them. And when you did deal with them, well, don't go into town until you've had milk, or you'll have to end up fighting a raid. And you can tell a mob or mechanic is considered annoying if they had to then create a switch to turn it on and off so you could play the game without it. And now it looks like that trend might continue with the mounted zombies. On one hand, I think it's actually very cool that we can finally get zombie horses. On the other hand, though, I can also see it being like we were shown just how powerful the spear can be, and zombies on horses can easily outpace a player. So what exactly is to happen if a brand new player spawns into the world and on like one of their early nights, before they go to the bed or before they have any like real good armor or equipment, they encounter one of these mounted monsters? They're just gonna die. But I already got more bricks here. I was making charcoal. But I do have a lot of... Let me clear out. Alright, I need to grab the rest of the charcoal. Hey, level up. And then... Oh, I do have some brick. What are they? Oh no, zombies don't run fast. It's not the... But in this latest update, they're introducing zombies on horseback. Ah, oh. I actually don't know how fast a zombie horse goes, but if they're even comparable to a regular to any of the regular horses, or God forbid a skeletal horse, which I'm pretty sure has a really high speed, then I don't think new players will fare well. I guess that's also like one of Minecraft's greatest weaknesses. It doesn't really have any defined difficulty progression. Don't get me wrong, there is progression in this game in the form of like resources. You go from wood to stone to iron to diamond, then they added netherite, and then they added copper, which I don't know how the hell they use, and also gold exists, but no one ever used gold. Yeah, but that's beside the point. So, you have all of these, Minecraft is in the situation where it doesn't have any real way to have a ramping difficulty, which honestly, for a game like Minecraft, where the focus is on like this building, relaxing aspect, completely fine. But it starts to become more difficult when you try to figure out, okay, well, what do we then add? How do we create a monster that feels both unique, but at the same time doesn't necessarily raise the difficulty unnecessarily? I mean, it's one thing to put a new monster in like the Nether, because the Nether, the end, you kind of expect it. It's the Nether and end after all. But the overworld? Putting new mobs into the overworld seems that, I don't know, Minecraft has struggled with that as of recent. Because the new mobs need to either feel, or well, they need to feel unique enough to justify their existence, but they also can't be too difficult if they just spawn naturally in the world. And you can't exactly tie their spawn to like random chance, because if you do that, then it's going to feel like very unfair if they do spawn while a player is new. Yeah. Well, not much I can do until... Oh. Oh, that'll make more chests. Not much I can do until my bricks are cooked. More clay? Probably more clay. Always more clay. You... Oh. So, anyways, that's my 2 cents on modern Minecraft and recent updates. By the way, I know I said this already, in case for like those people watching the VOD, but for those who weren't here at the beginning of the stream, I am talking a bit more softly because I am living in the dorms now. So I have to be quiet and considerate for my neighbors. Solo dorms, luckily enough. Meaning I don't necessarily have to worry about someone walking in on me. And the walls aren't too thin between the dorms, so I don't need to be like super quiet. Still don't really want to like push it, you know? No, I can't reach. Yeah. Wait a second. These lily pads, you can collect and place them on water, right? Hold on, I'm gonna need to test a theory later. Now then. Oh, I suppose it'd be apt, considering how much I've been talking about college and how that's been affecting my streaming schedule and how it will continue to affect me. I suppose I should talk somewhat about how my college life has been. And I'll be honest with you, class is fine, great, perfect. The pest situation, not so much. You see, the college I'm at is kind of outdoorsy, and as such, you end up with a lot of mosquitoes, ticks, bed bugs, you know, the usual rule offenders. But I was unlucky enough to get a pretty nasty bite on my foot, which, if you ever had to deal with a blister, I pity you. But yeah, the bite ended up blistering, and I couldn't walk right for like a good few days. Wouldn't be too bad if not for the fact that I practically have to hike to my classes. I'll keep you in my inventory for now. What makes it even more annoying is just as the first one started dying down, I got a different one on the other foot that is now causing issues. Meaning I'm basically not gonna be able to walk straight for like, or I wouldn't have walked straight for a whole week. God, you gotta love insects. I know that they're important to the environment and all that, you know, ecosystem and whatnot, and I can still find them annoying and want to crush them when they're a nuisance. Okay, time to put my theory to the test. Perfect. Now I can go collect clay without ever having to dive down. But yeah, other than that unfortunate first few days, well, first few days, like, I only started college like last week, so, ah. Point is, things have been going well for me. Classes are fun, the campus is beautiful, and it's not like I have the hardest classes in the world, you know? I don't know, how's everyone else's educational life like? I mean, for those of you who are in college or have gone to college, if so. Okay, damn. I can only use that trick to hit ones that are 2 down. I gotta wonder, when did they patch that flying squid glitch? For anyone who doesn't know, there was an old Minecraft, well, not exactly a glitch, but bug? Yeah, probably bug. Where squid who were too close to the edge of the water would start flying up. And thus gave birth to the idea of, or the meme of the flying squid. Other than Minecraft, well, there's Minecraft and then there's Garden Warfare, which, I know, I didn't really feel like playing Garden Warfare, because going into a shooter game that I typically get frustrated at, regardless of how much I enjoy the game, didn't really sound like the best option for what to play getting back into it. Or getting back into streaming after dealing with classes. Let's see here. But there is one other game I was considering that I recently got from the autumn sale, and I was talking about it earlier, which was this game called Endless Alice, which is described as Risk of Rain, but anime. So that is something I'm considering playing maybe next week. It's a sort of PvE roguelike where you just kind of go from level to level fighting bosses and enemies and whatnot. Oddly relaxing. I don't know, does anyone else find... Oh, I know not every PvE game is relaxing, but I find quite a few PvE games to be relaxing, because you're not dealing with other players who are, you know, intelligent and can be good at the game. I mean, okay, I wouldn't consider Souls-likes to be relaxing and their PvE, but, you know, those PvE arcade shooters where you're fighting against hordes of unique enemies? That was gonna be fun, you know? Is there any clay I haven't collected? Ah. Okay, hold on. I can't. I don't want to do it until I've at least gotten an A stack of clay. Oh, right. How much clay is this? Oh, there's the next stack. Wow, one stack exactly, because I had 5 originally and now... I don't know, like, how much effort I am gonna, like, or how much I am gonna, time I'm gonna put into the building of this house itself. Because building your Minecraft house, like, that's one of the staples of Minecraft, you know? Everyone's gotta build their own house in Minecraft. But, I mean, if my goal is just to beat the Ender Dragon, which I've never done before, for those of you who might have missed me talking about it in, like, the first stream, I have never beaten the Ender Dragon. I don't know, I just never found that aspect of the game to be that appealing. I basically only ever stayed in the overworld. Oh, I mainly stayed in the overworld and only ever went to, like, the nether in order to get, like, quartz, nether brick, and to sometimes build in the nether in case I had an idea. Let's grab you. Alright. Never did fill in this. One, two, one, two, one, two, three, four. You know, I think I really do want to just... Yeah, let's up you. Do you want to just leave this section in particular uncovered so I can make really tall windows? And it just means a few less pieces of spruce I have to use. Does mean a few more pieces of brick though. Damn. I know. Oh, for those watching VOD or live, you enjoy Minecraft. It's not exactly the type of game that necessarily a lot happens. One of those more relaxing games, you know. Honestly, between Minecraft and Plants vs. Zombies, what is the more interesting one? Because Plants vs. Zombies, there's like a lot happening. So, or at least there's always action going on. Versus Minecraft, admittedly, not much. Yeah. I'll block it off for now, but maybe like a large staircase or something? I definitely see stairs. And by the way, do tell me if I'm too quiet. Huh. I swear I hear something. Do tell me if I'm too quiet. Sometimes I start to like slouch in my chair and slowly move further from the mic. The classic Minecraft music. Really, Minecraft music is iconic. And I think it's iconic, the old Minecraft. Actually, what does everyone think of the new Minecraft music? General opinions and whatnot. Personally, I mean, Pig Step was fun, but I don't know, it just lacks a sort of calmness to it. And I don't really, to be honest, I hardly remember the newest one. You know, I should probably leave you as like one high so I can actually jump back on. Okay, like a staircase in the wall they utilized for building. Also, for those of you who have been following me on Twitter, X, what have you, you might have noticed that I have been definitely drawing a lot more, and I'm honestly quite proud of some of how my drawings have been turning out lately. I think my latest work, I called it The Penguin. You see, I mainly draw, I guess you could call them cartoon characters, not my own OCs, mind you. And the Penguin is one of those characters. I got the idea of the Penguin simply because I thought that Napoleon's blue coat and white undershirt kind of made him look like a penguin, and the idea of a sort of emperor penguin, or an emperor penguin type character styled after Emperor Napoleon, I don't know, it just kind of clicked. Yeah, damn. I mainly draw like, I guess you could, I say that a lot, I guess you could say. I say a lot of things a lot. Do I repeat myself too much? Who cares? Where was I? Right. I mainly draw villain characters. Or at least characters intended to be villains. Which is a bit odd considering how I never really bothered to make heroes. I don't know, I just always found villains to be the more interesting to design and utilize. Now that that's done, I can do this. Big windows. Yeah, but none of these look too small in comparison. Maybe... I mean, I typically wouldn't want the windows to go touching where the floor would be, but... I don't know. I'll see how bad it is once I actually get to making the glass. Hmm. Much better. And in fact... Nah, damn anymore. Oh, ain't that ominous. And... ta-da! It was such a small thing, but I quite like it. Okay, so I mean, it doesn't map perfectly. Maybe I should have just used, like... I want to use more brick. Bruce? Jesus Christ, I completely messed it up. I can kind of see it. Definitely needs fences, though. I need a few of these, so I might as well just... There we go, much better. And I don't know, maybe we can just keep using this as a cubby storage. Now there's usually like something under the stairs. Okay. Still smelting? No, done cooking. What to really do? Because I don't know, I can't just. I probably won't be able to spend all stream building. I guess after streaming, what else would? What else can I check off the typical Minecraft to-do list? Well, certainly find a village. Oh, I collected all that, I still have 3 diamonds. I could make a diamond sword. And then I did get I did get some obsidian. So going to the nether, definitely. And then I'd also put finding a village on the list. Like, I don't know, you have to go find a village at some point during your Minecraft playthrough. They're iconic. I'm talking about it like I'm going sightseeing. Like, oh yeah, you have to go visit the nether, and if you go to this village, make sure to visit this shop. It has great prices on string and clay. Sorry, I just need to take a sip there. Here's a here's a thought. It's a nasty thing, thinking. You ever have those moments where you're just alone with your thoughts? Not very good, are they? You'd think being alone would be relaxing, but not if you're thinking. No, no. If you're thinking, that's when things start to go wrong. Think. When you're alone and you're thinking, you start to have doubts. You start to criticize yourself. You start to dredge up old memories, like that one very embarrassing time back in elementary where you thought you could play piano, but you ended up just making a fool of yourself. Ah, yes. A dangerous thing, thinking. One more layer, and then I should be good to go. Did I replace? No, I didn't. Because I ran out. Damn, so close to finishing it completely. Or, well, finishing the walls. I still haven't done the roof. I ain't ending the stream until I have completely finished this house out. Which means more clay collecting. Yeah, the amount of... I really should have just spent like a couple hours going around the river and collecting all the damn clay. Actually, if I get this last bit of the walls done, collecting all the dark oak for the roof won't be that difficult. So I genuinely could finish building the exterior and I guess you could call it framework of the house within, I don't know, maybe the next hour? By the way, has anyone ever heard of something called a solo TTRPG? Interesting little trend game. It's what it says on the tin, a TTRPG you'd play by yourself. Of course, you may be wondering, oh, how the heck does that even work? How can you play a tabletop game all by yourself? And though you may not realize it, those types of games have always existed in one form or another. Solitaire is a TTRPG, for example. Really, it's the fact that Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and other such TTRPGs have dominated the TTRPG space so... Oh, I just realized I just completely misspoke. Solitaire isn't a TTRPG, Solitaire is a tabletop game, but the idea of the tabletop game has been so dominated by TTRPGs that people nowadays, you don't refer to games like Solitaire or Monopoly as tabletop games. You refer to them as board games, like card games, even though they are in the larger category of tabletop games. But anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So, solo TTRPGs, what the heck is that? Well, essentially, a solo TTRPG will be can range anywhere from a 2-page booklet to a, well, 100-page novel explaining a sort of narrative, I guess you could call it. Well, not explaining a narrative. Basically, a solo TTRPG will create a narrative scenario that the player then, I guess, plays through. Think of it less like your traditional RPG with stats, mechanics, and number sheets, and think of it more like a narrative building exercise, where the RPG itself facilitates you creating your own story within a framework. The game that's largely accredited to starting this, well, not starting, but a game that really popularized solo TTRPGs and started a whole online trend of, I don't want to say copycats, but homages, is a very short game called Alone Among the Stars, a solo TTRPG where you are, and all it takes to play is a D6 and a deck of standard playing cards with the jokers removed. And from there, the rules just outline how you are a spacefaring adventurer going from planet to planet, and every card you draw represents a different planet, while the dice you roll are the states of the I'm gonna have to kill all of you, aren't I? Okay, come on. Ah, you just had to ruin my front lawn. You know what? I'll patch that up later. Okay, no one walk in here. Where was I? Right. Solo TTRPG, or Alone Among the Stars. So it has simple gameplay loop. You would want to go explore a planet, you draw a card. The suit explains what you find on that planet, the number explains where you found it, and then the dice you roll explains the journey it took to get there. And I genuinely, the Alone Among the Stars rule set, 2 pages. Very easy to understand, very rules light, and essentially wholly dependent on the player's own imagination and storytelling capabilities. Which, I mean, I know I was the one who kind of like brought them up and started talking about them, but that's partially the reason why I don't like solo TPRPGs. Or at least that's the reason why I don't like Alone Among the Stars. Because I'm someone who has had participated in a lot of creative writing classes, creative writing events, you know, short story stuff, a few fan fiction stuff, even tried writing a few chapters of my own work a couple times. Never really finished anything, mind you. But point is, I am familiar with storytelling and writing stories. So when I started trying out a solo TTRPG, my first thought was just, well, why don't I just go write my own story? You know? Why would I play this game that is designed to facilitate storytelling within a certain rule set when I can just, you know, write my own story and make my own rules? And that's partially the reason why because the reason why I play games is for the mechanics and the experience that the game itself facilitates through its gameplay. A game like Alone Among the Stars, which is dependent on the players, a game like Alone Among the Stars, whose gameplay consists solely of narrative storytelling, and so narrative storytelling that you do by yourself, mind you, is just not that interesting to me. And I need to eat. I'm going to starve soon. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna like... Okay, come on. This'll just be to time me over for now. I'll go kill some more pigs. Now, this isn't to say that all solo TTRPGs are like Alone Among the Stars, because like I said, Alone Among the Stars ended up inspiring a lot of, they call them game hacks. Basically games that took the basic concept and layout of Alone Among the Stars and began adding their own spin on things. Some of these were kind of just like Alone Among the Stars, but a different setting, like instead of being this spacefaring adventure going from planet to planet, there was one called Alone Among the Courts, which was essentially the exact same setup, but instead of being a spacefaring adventurer, you were a foreign diplomat who was now having to manage court life. And as these are both narrative-heavy games, of course the big difference between either of them is the types of narratives they facilitate, or at least the types of narratives they encourage. By all technical accounts, you could play Alone Among the Courts and just say, oh, and there's aliens involved. Or you could play Alone Among the Stars and say, oh, but I'm dealing with space court. But that's not really like the intended point of the games, if you could even say that games like these have intended points. Yeah, but that's a conversation of artistic intent for another day. But then you also have, I suppose, I never played this one myself, but I have heard of it. It's called 1000-Year-Old Vampire, a solo TTRPG that is basically a full-blown novel, and it also takes more after choose-your-own-adventure stories. Well, and when I say choose-your-own-adventure stories, I don't mean like Telltale games, but I mean the original choose-your-own-adventure stories, the ones that were actually written in books and would have things like, if you choose to go down this hall, turn to page manapapa. You know, those kinds of choose-your-own-adventure stories. So, 1000-Year-Old Vampire is an example of a solo TTRPG that has much more structure to it. Alright. I think a solo TTRPG might be an interesting thing to do for a stream. You don't really get that with a lot of streams. You don't... Solo TTRPGs. Really, you don't get a lot of TTRPG streams that are outside of, like, the big names. You'll get... D&D is, of course, the most popular one. Then, next to D&D probably comes Pathfinder, which is... I mean, okay, I'm gonna piss off so many fans by saying this, but when you really look at it, D&D and Pathfinder are kind of the same. Hear me out. Hear me out. They both offer the same gameplay experience. They work off the same rolling system. They're basically just... Pathfinder even started as just a continuation of a lot of the 3.5 rules for D&D. Yeah, the games... Sure, the games aren't exactly the same, but they're similar enough that it kind of just feels like you're playing... It's like comparing... Yeah, I'm trying to think what would be a good example of this. It's like comparing... Elden Ring to Darks? No, I'm trying to think, I don't know, Darks, I'm trying to think like what are the various Souls-like games that weren't created by the same company. Dark Souls and Bloodborne? Are those two different companies? Okay, it's like comparing one Souls-like to another Souls-like. Technically, they are different games, they have a few different mechanics, and maybe have different balancing decisions, but at the end of the day, they are both Souls-like, offering the same general experience with the same gameplay intent. Hold on, what if I... Indoor balcony? So that's my take on like D&D versus Pathfinder. Technically, they are two separate games, but really you're getting the same experience out of either of them. You are playing a fantasy role-playing game. Now, okay, that tangent over, then you of course have, I'd say the next big one is probably Vampire the Masquerade. And then past that, I would say... I want to say this one mecha game whose name I cannot remember. Hold on, let me... Oh wait, hold on. Right. No wait, I need to... Okay, keep you, put you away. Actually keep you. I need to kill another pig. What was I? Oh, right, I was trying to remember the name of a, of this, mecha TTRPG game. I don't want to say... It's not Mecha Break. I don't know why my mind keeps going to Mecha Break. Lancer! That's what the TTRPG was called. Lancer, which is a pretty cool TTRPG where instead of like... Where you are basically a mech pilot. And when you're creating your... And you don't necessarily create your character, but rather you create your mech. Always thought that'd be interesting to play, but I don't know. Never got around to putting a group together. I mean, I don't know how popular Mecha Break is comparatively to like D&D, Pathfinder, etc. Hold on. Can I get the 24? Okay, 1. I got a speed sync up here. 24. But I was going somewhere with all of this discussion. Right. So basically, TTRPG and the streaming spheres are typically just D&D, Pathfinder, and the other big popular ones. I'd say Lancer is like relevant enough. Vampire the Masquerade gets a few streams here and there. But you rarely ever see like people playing Fabula Ultima, which is a TTRPG inspired by JRPGs. You don't see a lot of... Hold on. You don't see a lot of people playing GURPS or playing Perfect Draw, for example. Actually, Perfect Draw, that is... Okay, I brought Perfect Draw up as an example, but I don't think that was necessarily a fair comparison, because Perfect Draw isn't one of necessarily what I call one of the more popular or well-known TTRPGs. In fact, most of you probably hearing me bring up Perfect Draw are probably wondering, what the heck is that? Well, it's a TTRPG on itch.io based on card game anime, and I think it's quite fun. I quite like it. Now, how much clay do I actually have? I should really sort out... You know what? The top chest, just gonna be clay and... just gonna make the top chest clay and... charcoal. That way I know how much fuel and clay I got. Now, Perfect Draw isn't really based on the idea of balance, because, well, it's not exactly easy to balance out a... I don't think I'll need too much more spruce. I can totally turn this remaining stuff into charcoal without issue. Oh wait, I want you. So, Perfect Draw, not exactly a game bent on balance. It's mostly meant to facilitate card game anime style storytelling. But really, okay, the cool part about Perfect Draw, and probably the reason why any fan of any fan of card game anime should give it a try, is because it lets you make your own custom cards. It has at least some rules on how to balance them, and then of course you have the game master, which in the game is called the judge, who manages like the balancing of the cards and making sure players don't try and get away with any ridiculous shit. I can just make mushroom stew. How much do I get from mushroom stew? Okay, so a fair amount. Put you back. Then, I guess... You away, you away, you away. You down here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, need to... Okay, well, I'm waiting for the food to cook so I can then put in a perfectly split 4-4. Perfect Draw. Players will create their own cards to build their own deck, and then under the guide of the judge, will go through a card game anime style story where card games basically determine everything in the world. So it's mainly inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh! So if anyone likes Yu-Gi-Oh! I would recommend, or if you like Yu-Gi-Oh! And you have some friends who would be interested in a TTRPG, or just friends who like making their own custom cards, I cannot recommend a Perfect Draw enough. Could you imagine if I ever... could you imagine me doing a Perfect Draw collab? That would be something. And I would love to introduce that game to more people. Yeah, I need at least a few more. Manapapaz. Fucking spruce wood. I didn't use up all of it. Did I? Did I do? I'm gonna need to make another diamond axe, aren't I? Yeah, I'm not gonna chop down all of them because I don't think I really need to. Oh god, bug. I know, ever since I get one bug bite while I'm here at college, and I'm all of a sudden paranoid. I've been spraying lavender around my room and on myself every time I leave. I don't know how much validity there is in that. Like, if it's just completely baseless that lavender repels bugs, or if it actually does repel bugs. But honestly, I don't see the harm in at least trying, because it's lavender. Who doesn't mind smelling like lavender, you know? Or who doesn't want to smell like lavender? Well, I guess if you're not really into flowery smells. Also, this is actually something interesting I've learned about from going to college that's completely unrelated to education. But coffee, specifically, there's apparently lavender-flavored lattes. You wouldn't think that lavender would make for good food, you know? Like, whenever I think lavender, I'm always thinking like perfume, lotion, you know? I'm thinking smells, cologne, body wash. I'm not thinking something I'd drink. But apparently, yeah, there's lavender lattes, and they honestly don't taste half bad. I guess this is me becoming a proper college student, starting to know the ins and outs of different coffee flavors, or latte flavors. I don't know. Does anyone else have like their own favorite coffee flavor? I mean, if not, I personally, before it was tripping words. When it comes to my favorite coffee flavors or latte flavors, like originally what I'd always like to get was caramel with salt. That was my favorite thing to have, like caramel flavored coffee. But honestly now, and then after caramel, this is gonna... I genuinely do think pumpkin spice ain't that bad sometimes. Look, I'm a fan of pumpkin pie, and there's some pumpkin spice lattes out there that I've had that taste like pumpkin pie, so I like them. Also, I don't know, here's the thing. I never really thought pumpkin was something you'd eat. I don't know why, but whenever I saw pumpkins were literally just something you... Like, all that pumpkin guts, I thought that was literally just stuff you threw out after you were done carving a pumpkin on Halloween. I didn't know you could actually eat that stuff for years. Like, even... And And this shows you just how stupid of a kid I was. Like, I knew about pumpkin pie, and I really liked pumpkin pie, but for some reason, until I was like, I think, what, 15 years old, I just never made the connection that pumpkin pie was actually made from pumpkins. For some reason, pumpkins just never... The idea of pumpkin guts being edible just never clicked in my mind. And now... okay, so it went from caramel, then pumpkin, and now lavender. Truly interesting flavor profile. Come on. Honestly, how many people who have played this game have done this? Just standing by your bed, holding down the right click, waiting for it to be night. I swear I hear squeaking. What to really do as I'm waiting? I guess chop down more dark oak. I'm probably gonna need a lot for the roof. No, I always did want to make my own TTRPG. When it comes to TTRPGs, I of course got my start in Dungeons & Dragons. In fact, yeah, Dungeons & Dragons was the first TTRPG I was ever introduced to, and I was introduced to it when I was like 8 years old. And it was my father and my older brother who introduced me to it. Then, after D&D, okay, so 8 years old, I get introduced to D&D, and that's like the one TTRPG I end up playing for years. Because I also got really interested into DMing, because, I don't know, I just liked the idea of making my own stories, my own characters, and eventually my own enemies, and even my own items. I homebrewed the shit out of D&D. Then, after D&D, in high school, the next TTRPG I ended up trying was Call of Cthulhu. I want to put an asterisk over that, though, because I was introduced to Call of Cthulhu by the Yogscast. Also, quick side tangent for any Yogscast fans out there. Yog Labs is coming back. They posted a nice teaser on their Twitter. For those of you who don't know, I'm saying that a lot. The Yogscast is one of the OG Minecraft channels. They do more variety stuff these days, but one of their most popular Minecraft series was Yog Labs, where it was a sort of roleplay mod review series where the heads of the Yogscast, or I don't want to say heads of the Yogscast, but like the forerunners of the Yogscast, Lewis and Simon, would technically review and walk through mods under the guise that they were in a laboratory testing stuff. And it was really cool, really fun. I got introduced to a lot of Minecraft mods that way, but back to the topic at hand, Yogscast was also what introduced me to Call of Cthulhu. But the thing is, the Yogscast, at least their early Call of Cthulhu games, didn't play like actual Call of Cthulhu games. You see, what Call of Cthulhu is supposed to be like is a psychological horror, eldritch, Lovecraftian, fear thriller adventure. How the Yogscast played, and how I subsequently ended up playing it with my friends, was more like Scooby-Doo. Which, in my opinion, is the best way to play Call of Cthulhu. Like, I get it, psychological thrillers and eldritch horror is fun and all, but sometimes you just need to have a Scooby-Doo door scene. I kid you not, that's actually something I did. Of course I ended up home doing my own Call of Cthulhu campaign and creating my own story, because, well, of course I did. And I genuinely had a puzzle where it was a hallway of doors that would take you to different doors, and depending on the order you walked in through the doors, you would end up in different locations around a mansion. Let's see here. Ah. Finally done. I have so many levels and no way to use them. Okay, brick, charcoal. So we got fucking Pokemon. Okay, random Pokemon fact. I was scrolling through Twitter one day, and I randomly came across something called a magma snail, which is apparently a snail that lives in volcanic areas and creates a shell out of, like, metals and volcanic stone. You can guess what Pokemon everyone was referencing. Pikachu, obviously. But yeah, okay, so it was Macargo, and I don't know, I just genuinely didn't know that Macargo was like a real snail. I thought it was just like, oh, snail, magma, funny, interesting design, because, I don't know, snails look kind of gloopy, and magma is gloopy. But no, the fact that there is a actual fire snail that exists in the real world is just fucking crazy to me. You know, I just realized I'm making like a ton more brick, but I don't actually know how much more brick I need to finish the house. I don't know, nature is crazy sometimes, man. Like, you have fucking magma snails, you have tiny octopi that just can kill you in seconds because neurotoxin. There are a lot of animals with neurotoxin, and they're all located in Australia for some reason. You've got fucking... You got the kiwis that lay eggs the size of their body. I am going through, like the low ball ends. I know there's weirder animals out there. I could probably talk about the mallard duck and their fucked up anatomy, but I don't think YouTube would like that very much. Or, same if I were to talk about the anatomy of an echidna. Did you know, I don't know, did you know that the platypus, yeah. Did you know that the platypus actually glows blue under fluorescent light? No one knows why, mind you. But yeah, that's just something it do. You know, I just realized, do we... Okay, yeah. For a second I was wondering, is there a platypus Pokemon? But yeah, there is. It's Lotad. Lotad, and then for some reason they gave its evolution a sombrero. The fact that Lotad's blue is... Oh, again, not its immediate evolution, it's final evolution. Lotad's final evolution. You know, one time when I was looking at Pokemon, there was a point in time where I just thought, oh, 3 evolution stages? They must all be equal and the same. Because at the time, I had no idea, like, what Pokemon stats were. So I came up with this idea of, like, if I could have any 3-stage evolution, what would it be? And Kid Me chose motherfucking Weevil. Because before I ever knew about the typings, about other Pokemon, about any of Pokemon's actual strategy, meta, and whatnot, before I knew about Black and White, and my only real reference was, like, I think the first 2, the Pokemon I deemed to be my favorite was fucking Beedrill. Technically Weevil, but I know, I remember that I always loved to have both a Beedrill and a Butterfree on my team. Purely because something just clicked in my mind with those 2. I just went, oh, 2 worm-like Pokemon with 3 evolution stages, and the middle stage being a cocoon. These should go in the same team. Actually, there's quite a few of those, like, a lot of bug types will go through that whole thing of, like, worm, larva, or whatever first stage, cocoon second stage, and then hatched whatever third stage. I want to say, so that was, Which makes me imagine a full team of, like, those kinds of bug types. It would suck, mind you, but just the idea of having this team whose thematic is worm, cocoon, metamorphize. I don't know, that just sounds cool to me. Okay, that's still gonna be a while. Do I just start on the roof now? Yeah, probably. Don't think I'm gonna be using... I'll keep some regular dark oak, but I'll probably not need it. Just need a bunch of stairs. Seriously, I don't know why they have... Stairs take a total of 6 blocks to make, but they only give you 4 blocks. They kind of fixed it with the stone cutter, but that only works on stone blocks, so you're still having to deal with a net loss if you want wood stairs. It makes me wonder why there isn't, like, they made a stone cutter, why the hell not a wood cutter? I don't know, it just feels like if you have a stone cutter, you should also have a wood cutter. Now the real question. How do I make the roof? If I do it tall ways here, or if I have the slope here to here, then the roof is gonna be very tall and very triangular, unless I, like, which I don't think will look that good. I'll probably do it, like, yeah, from here, have the slopes be, like, this way. So the slope down this way, and then, I need to at least complete this one first, because this one will really be what dictates the setup. I guess also the windows. Real quick. Hold on, let me actually fill out the top stair windows. I probably could have saved on some bricks if I did the windows first. So down here it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, now how does this look from the outside? Does this look ugly? I just realized brick stairs. That would actually solve my previous issue. It also, brick stairs would also look better over here. Ah, but then I wouldn't have to be able to have like proper windows. Okay, so if I start the slope there, then those windows are going to be blocked. Meaning I'm going to need to make the top floor higher than just 4 blocks unless I want the roof to come directly in front of the windows. Then again, maybe... I mean, I could just not have upper story windows on the front. Or maybe I can angle the roof so it's like this area has a triangle and then that area has a triangle. So like an L shape. Yeah, let me real quick try. I feel like I need to complete so much more of the roof if I really want to test this. Complete so much more through. Complete so much war. Complete the last stretch of wall. Oh, just in time. And I need to go back to build the bricks. Sorry. I don't know, I'm just feeling... I'm feeling off today. A bit lightheaded, but it's nothing major, nothing too bad. Admittedly, I might have not gotten quite a lot of sleep. Ended up waking too early and just couldn't fall back asleep, you know? One of those nights. Today, that's why we have coffee. You know, I just realized these are the same, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, it's gonna be a really fucky. It's gonna be a really fucky roof. I forgot I made it. I didn't. Do I? You know, I don't need to make a perfectly pointed roof. I could have it flat out at the top. Probably. In which case... Yeah, let me just finish up the last of this wall. Please tell me I have enough brick to finish this. I think that would... I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking like it would be a great either video or stream idea to spotlight like solo TTRPGs, or just TTRPGs that don't see a lot of play or coverage like Perfect Draw. I mean, I'd really love to be able to like do a collab with people and just show off all these games, but yeah, I don't think I'd want to do collabs while I'm still stuck in college. Who knows, maybe once I finally graduate and I'm released into the world aimless and wandering, I'll try doing more collabs. I'll try doing collabs as I try and figure out how to get my life together. I just realized I'm gonna need like so much more bricks for like these areas. But the house is coming along nicely. And I should put more. I need to put more clay in the ovens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. God damn it. Okay, I'm collecting more clay. I'm sorry, I just need it to align in multiples of 4. I can power through this. You know, it's not that I feel nauseous, just, I don't know, I feel a bit tired for some reason. Again, probably because of that aforementioned lack of sleep. Or maybe it's dehydration. Huh. I have been walking a lot more often. And I mean like ridiculous amounts of walking. It's not exactly cold, which means I've been sweating a lot more often than I would typically. Which means... that might be a problem. Be right back as I try to hydrate myself. Okay, I am back. I have returned. Oh boy. Yes. Personal health? What's that? Okay, so maybe there are still like a few life adjustments I need to make beyond simply scheduling. But that's besides the point. Yeah, it probably is gonna be like a flat roof, and then maybe a slanted roof here, because I'm pretty sure like this is an even split. Please be an even split. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, god damn it. There isn't a single part of this house that lines up well. I don't know, I just thought that, oh, hall rooms need to be larger than hallways. I mean, like, I guess that really was what the lot. That was where the logic was. That, hmm. You know what? We'll wing the roof. We'll just wing it. I'm sure it'll be fine. Do I bother doing like the underside also being stairs? That'd be so much wood. But at the same time, I feel like I kind of have to do that for some points. Because it just feels, it would feel wrong to not do that. Oh, I'm gonna need so much dark wood. I wonder if there's anyone else. Does anyone else out there know of lesser known or odd TTRPGs? Like, I brought up various solo TTRPGs and Perfect Draw. I guess some of you might consider Lancer to be a sort of unknown TTRPG. Lancer is the mech one I was talking about. Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna like just kind of lay out how these need to be first. That way I'm not like having to jump down or get into some position where I'm unable to actually build. Sorry, I need to keep hydrating myself. I'm starting to see why some streamers have a redeem called Hydrate. Ah, wait, damn, I don't have the reach. Okay. There's a method to this, I swear. Almost fell. This is the dangerous part of any Minecraft building. Building the roof. Ah, damn, I need more spruce, it seems. Did I have any leftover spruce? And there goes my brick. How do I get down? Okay, I probably need to keep this area like this, just so I can always get back up. Hold on, I've moved slightly away from my mic. Okay, and we're back. I need to consider what I'm gonna do for food. Because I am, of course, working off the college student diet of cup of noodles, hot pockets, and coffee. Truly, a feast of kings. You know, I didn't need to make my house needlessly big, and yet here I am. Ah, the hubris of man. Hmm. I mean, I don't know at what point I would flatten it. I want to say here. Hmm. Oh, actually, wait a second. There's nothing visible on the outside. So it would only be on the inside that you'd notice that the roof was slightly off. And I guess I could just like even it out where the middle would be. Like it doesn't need to come to an exact point, it can flatten out probably. Wait, did I? Yeah, that's a flat brick. Nah, flat brick wall there. Okay, since I'm gonna need so much more brick, I might as well just go collect more clay while I'm waiting for that to finish. Starting to regret my promise of saying, oh, I'm gonna finish this house this stream. Because, I don't know, streaming... The 3 hour... Between just... I don't know, I might not be able to go past the 3 hour mark. I mean, we still got a while before we get there, but... Well, we'll see how I'm feeling by the 3-hour mark. Things might start slowing down, though. Any more clay in these pockets? That'd certainly be convenient. No, no more clay. Oh, over here. This might sound... Oh. Okay, this might sound stupid, but how does a Minecraft TTRPG sound? But, I mean, it's one thing to simply create a TTRPG and give it a Minecraft theme, you know? You can there's plenty of, like, homebrew stuff people have made for, like, oh, creepers in Minecraft, or... Bollocks. Swimming in this is gonna be a pain. Creepers in Minecraft, or Ender Dragon in Minecraft. Maybe even like Minecraft-themed D&D campaigns, but like, what would a Minecraft TTRPG really entail, you know? Like, how do you translate the mechanics of a game like Minecraft into a TTRPG? My first thought would of course be City Builder, you know? With building being such an integral part of Minecraft's core gameplay loop, a Minecraft TTRPG should, of course, most likely involve some kind of a like building mechanic at the core part. Less focus on necessarily the typical adventure or monster slaying of most TTRPGs, and instead more of like the build your house, or yeah, build your house, help villagers, get resources, and then fighting is just incidental from these things. Like, you probably could just design quest lines around, or objectives around the typical stuff you'd have to do in if you were to play Minecraft. Ah. Crap. How much clay did I get? One short again. One thing I will say that I don't like about the dorms compared, or that has been kind of like an issue with the dorms, the chair. Like, it is a wooden chair with no cushioning. I am using a blanket to cushion it. Typically not that bad, but when you're sitting down for hours, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna leave this school with back pain. I'm gonna leave the school with back pain and really good leg muscles. Ah yes, it's finally done. I need to make another shovel. Another shovel, get that last stack. Holy shit. Probably make like another 4 shovels. Yeah, no, if this... I mostly watch Minecraft videos, not really Minecraft streams, so I don't know if it's like typical for... I'd assume a Minecraft stream is pretty typical for most of it to be spent building. Especially with like some builders, they can go crazy. I just had to bring the iron back. I get to have my tall windows on the second story at least. How did it go up here? Maybe the next thing I should try doing is focusing on creating bookshelves for the enchanting table. I'm just passively kind of collecting sugarcane for it, so... Pretty sure I'm gonna have plenty of sugarcane to make paper and then paper to make books. Oh no, wait, I need a cow farm. That's what I need to do next. I need to make a cow farm. Oh, I made the mistake of killing all the nearby cows. Damn. And it's almost dark. Sorry, more hydration. That have more clay. Oh, there's just a clay deposit like right here. Ah, but it's so close to my house. I already got all the clay over there though, so you know what? I'll fix it later. Just try not to make it too obvious. Ah, crap. Oh, that's a big deposit right there. Okay, let's yeah, got it in. Jesus Christ. The cave sounds really freaky when you... Sometimes. Okay, this will be my next... Next batch. The amount of EXP I get just from building a brick house. Like, look at that. If you want to make a bunch of EXP in Minecraft, don't make an EXP farm, just build a brick house. I mean, yeah, it's technically not as fast or as easy as oh god, bug. It's not as fast or as easy as an XP farm, but does an XP farm get you a brick house? I think not. What am I doing? Right, bricks. I actually need to make them. What are they doing here, though? Alright, I was gonna, like, figure out how am I actually doing the roof? So where's the middle point? So... Oh no, wait, this is completely wrong. So it would go... No. Damn it. No. Okay, I'm gonna need to go down first. Ow. Sorry. Wait a sec. Is that... Do the planks make a squeaking noise? Oh my god, they do. That's what I've been hearing this whole time. I genuinely didn't know that wood planks squeaked when you walked on them. Holy shit. Okay. So where... If I just keep doing like this... Eventually, where do they end up? Oh, that explains why they're... I made... This is even. But it still technically works out. Question is, do I want it to be this tall-ass roof? Be really fucking tall. Need to get a better look at it from down there. I mean, I could do this as like pointed, then have the roof on this side be flattened out roughly around where this ends as well. That could work. I feel like I'd need to do like something or add on something to like the top if I do make a flatter roof. Eh. I can see this working. I didn't put anything on the sides. Alright. I'm gonna... Why? Why? Can I do it like this is the question. Yes. Yes, I can. No! What was that? Okay. Need to be a bit more careful. Please tell me those aren't... Okay, good. I still have more stairs. Careful. Back. Okay, here's how we used to handle this stuff before scaffolding was invented. Dirt pillars. See, that's what we had to do back in the old days. We didn't have no bamboo or scaffolding. We just used dirt, because that was the most abundant resource that everyone would end up having. And yet somehow they'd never have it when they needed it. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. I would like to have my own TTRPG, or, well, make my own TTRPG. I've always been, well, I've sort of been developing one for a while. I'm gonna die. I need to be more careful. It ain't gonna be a mob that does me, and it's gonna be the fucking fall damage. Where are they? Right, I'd always wanted to make my own TTRPG, and I've kind of done that over a few years at this point. Okay. Just need to be very, very careful. Okay, that's good enough. Ah, got my back. You know what I think it is? I'm leaning too much. Like this backrest was not designed for leaning. Now then, did I not? Okay, good, I did. This might be another stream where I just go until I run out of the necessary resources to continue. I was talking about... What the... Okay. There. Right. Developing my own TTRPG. Always wanted to develop one based on... I want to say anime, but more so just the exaggeration of anime. I want to create a TTRPG that can actually facilitate flashy fight scenes, over-the-top characters, and whatnot. I think that'd be fun. Maybe maybe I should build it around Monster Girls. I'm sure that'd be popular. Although I never really understood... I know that there are Monster Girl games and that there's a book called the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, but I'm not sure, like, is it a chicken or the egg situation? Was it the game that came out first and then the encyclopedia came out later? And then spin-offs of it came later? Is there like a sure, okay, there's no way there isn't a D&D conversion or some homebrew whatchamacallit whatever that has Monster Girls. Yeah. This is good. Oh, I should put railings over here. I don't know. What would you consider to be, like, better... Well... What would be all your stances on the idea of, like, human or humanoid monsters in a setting? I know for some people they don't really like that. They much prefer that all their monsters be, well, monstrous. One... Oh, that would be one... And yeah, I can see why. There's definitely a oh god, the same bug! Eh. I swear I'm gonna need to spray lavender around on it. I mean, it doesn't really kill the bug, but for a few bugs it seems to disorientate them enough that they kind of like drop to the floor and then you can just step on them. Life hack. Okay, we're... You know, I really should make like some kind of dirt... You know what? Dirt bridge. Just gonna start making like crisscrossing dirt lines so I can get from side to side. Actually, I probably should have just started with one side rather than jumping back and forth between them. Damn it. Yeah, it looks like this will end up being another stream where I just kind of keep going until I've expended my resources. And then go collect resources off screen. Unless, I mean, I don't know. Do you all mind when I stream my resource collection, or would you prefer that I collect them off stream? I mean, I don't really see much of a difference between, like, streaming me slowly building up a house versus streaming me going through a mine. I will say, though, I am kind of starting to get tired. I don't know why I feel so fatigued today. Even my arms feel weird. And I haven't really been doing them anything strenuously. Come on, I can power through it. I've powered through worse. Mind over body, as they say. Yes, at least see how far I can get this roof done. See how long it takes me to run out of wood. And I'm pretty sure this is like the last of the dark oak. No, wait, I still have like some dark oak left. So probably, yeah, use up my remaining dark oak. See if I've hit the... I'll hit the 3-hour mark in like a few minutes, but... I mean, I don't know. I want my first stream back after I announced a pseudo hiatus to run longer. But I guess it's just my streamer luck coming back, you know? Random fatigue whenever I start. Where was I? Okay, let's see how much remaining dark oak I got. Oh. I haven't even used up all the planks. Yeah, I'm gonna get plenty of the roof done today, probably. Eh. Actually, I'll keep these last 8 because there's one thing I want to do. There. Just to make the colors more consistent on the stairs. Perfect. And why not? Yeah. This is a real fancy house. And now time to wait for and now I take a sip as I wait for night. I should at least be able to get a significant portion of the roof done. And I've kind of finished the second story. Kind of. I need to make a lot of torches to light it up as I build the roof, though. I can handle that when I handle that. Mm. Oh. Hmm. I wonder if I should. I mean, is it a food thing? Am I just hungry? Sorry, I'm just kind of musing as to why I feel so fatigued. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. I want to doing a solo TTRPG on stream. I briefly discussed that as a possibility, but what solo TTRPG to play, and would people be interested in that? Do I want to? Yeah, I think this is fine. Probably. Oh no, that's dark. I need more torches. I don't want to use up my charcoal supply for it. God. I have one more torch. Wait, is this serious? Is this room seriously dark enough to warrant cave sounds? Maybe I can just like take some of these torches. Yeah, that should be good. Well, I don't know, maybe after... it'll probably be pretty late by the time I do end think stream. I can just have some, I don't know, microwave lasagna. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, fuck. Speaking of other, like, tabletop games in general, there was actually this one interesting game I played called Companion's Tale. And it's not a TTRPG. In fact, I'd describe it more like a collaborative world-building exercise. Basically, Companion's Tale centers around you, the players, creating a fantasy world built, and then each of you individually act out as a companion to a hero character. None of you actually play the heroes. Instead, your companions sort of watching this hero story unfold, and the players determine how the heroes story unfolds, how the world is built up, what happens, a series of events. Like, it's a genuinely fun experience that I'd recommend for any... If you enjoy world building and also have other friends who also enjoy world building, I think it's like I think it's like intended for 4 players, but it's got rules for 3 players, 6 players, and 8 players. And I don't know, like, I won't go down like the whole list of rules, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Like, you end up working with other players to build out the map of your world, fill out locations, describe events as they happen. And the fact that it puts you into position of specifically a companion to the hero is also very interesting, because a lot of the game's creativity comes from the fact that you are not the hero of the story. You are a bystander, just kind of riding the hero's tail. And the other interesting thing that is sort of burst from this experience is how you kind of... It's not adversarial, but it can be like that depending on the group, because of... Holy shit! Because of course, 4 people all building around the same setting, there's gonna be people coming in with like their own ideas of what the plot should be, how things should progress, and you can easily fall into the trap of everyone just pushing their own plot line. But since the game works off of yes and rules, it can still work even if you end up in that situation. I think there's quite a lot of this. Getting probably one more torch. Speaking of various other odd TTRPGs, one I haven't. Okay, one odd one that I have heard about. Oh, these are my stairs. I don't want to build over that. Was one When the Dark is Gone, I believe it was called. Basically, it had this really on the surface level, this really funny concept of one player acts as a therapist for the other players, who are a group of adults who, as kids, went on your typical childhood fantasy adventure, think like Narnia, but came out of it traumatized. Like, on one hand, the premise is very kind of funny the premise is funny in a dark way, because it's a twist on, not only is it the twist on the childhood adventure story, but also it's in and of itself an almost absurd concept. Actually, now that I talked about Perfect Draw earlier, which had Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I talked about fucking this game, When the Dark is Gone, which has you act as a therapist for a bunch of childhood adventurers. I just realized that was an actual plot line of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. So, okay, there's many different Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime series, and one of those series, that's my personal favorite, is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. And there was one of the characters' plot lines was literally just fucking Narnia. There was even a lion involved. I forget what their name was. Yeah, point is, one of the characters actually had a Narnia plotline, But then there was also one duel where that character dueled against a therapist who was trying to use, like, trying to use therapy as a sort of her therapeutic method. Basically, the therapist was trying to figure out how to break in to the fantasy world, which in and of itself would be an interesting concept. Okay, one last sleep, then I guess also I should probably use up these bricks. Oh, we hit the 3-hour mark. Okay, I'm gonna finish up this thought and then... And there's a pretty interesting twist on like this, on the whole therapist setup, and also the idea of the therapist as the antagonist, or this idea of the therapist as the antagonist. How do I need to get over there? Jesus. Gotta be making a haunted house here. Fucking cave noises in every dark room. Okay, I'm just gonna... I'm gonna build out like this. Because I'm gonna end up needing to... Yeah. I need to do this anyways. I might as well just... I can't think of any media... Okay, other than that one Yu-Gi-Oh episode, God damn it. Other than that one Yu-Gi-Oh episode, and... Oh, also the Little Nightmares tie-in novels, which I'm not going to get into. Those are the only two examples I can think of where the therapist was used as like a twist villain. I don't know if there's others out there. It'd probably be for the best that there isn't too many like therapist is secretly evil storylines, because yeah, you want people to trust therapists, you know? Okay, do I have any more... Okay, that's too high. Do I have any more bricks that I'm making? I'm pretty sure like I was cooking one last round of bricks. Okay, I'm gonna make 64 more bricks, use them up. Almost out of clay, gonna need more charcoal. I have another stack of bricks in my inventory that I completely missed. Okay, I'm going to use up all my bricks, and then I am going to end stream. Why do I only have... Did I miss? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, that works. It's mildly dark over here. Expect spiders, zombies, and creepers to spawn. Also, just random Yu-Gi-Oh thought, because of this one tweet I came across a while back asking who your main is. Honestly, I don't know. I'm obsessed with like bricky youth. I am obsessed with bricky boss monsters. You can see why that was the first thing that came to my mind. Yeah, bricky boss monsters, because I don't know. I just think they're neat. There's something that feels so powerful about them, even if they suck. I like Yu-Gi-Oh decks where I can just summon a big in-archetype boss monster, you know? For those of you who don't know, archetypes are basically how Yu-Gi-Oh! Handles different card factions, I guess you could call them. Yeah, I think this is also where it has to flatten out. So, one of the... Oh no, it has to flatten out even earlier. Oh, am I gonna have enough? Okay, I will have enough pick durability. It would have to flatten out here. Oh god, I'm basically gonna make a third story. And it's not necessarily... Oh, perfectly aligned. Not necessarily a bad thing, just... Well... This is gonna be like a lot of unused space, I feel. Oof. Oh. I think I need to stretch a bit. What do I do with all these extra bricks? Or all these other bricks? Yeah, I guess over there. They'll need to be placed. Oh wait, no, then I also need to end up placing... How would this work? Definitely up to there, so I'm gonna just do a full circle. And I'm gonna get rid of you because I'm basically gonna end up blocking off this route. And I don't really feel like I need to pick up dirt. Ow. Something... Oh, I swear to God, if something bit me again. Or maybe I've just been sitting too long. I know it sounds like I am severely unhealthy. And, okay, when it comes to... Okay, when it comes to things like managing my sleep schedule, sure. But you can't say I don't get a lot of exercise, considering I basically have to hike everywhere I go. The wonders of living out in the boonies. Oh, okay, not the actual boonies, but living far away from everywhere you need to go, and not having a car. I mean, it's not like I actually do quite like walking. In fact, I honestly do prefer to walk everywhere I go. It's just, it kind of gets a bit difficult sometimes. Especially when you're on a time crunch. Okay, as long as I don't like go too higher, I think I should be good, and we'll need to take a detour to cut down another spruce tree. And I think this might be the last of my bricks. Oh, come on, it could... Damn it. So close. Okay, that is... I need to, like... Well, I'd say sit back a bit, but... Pretty sure sitting back is part of the reason why my back hurts. Stretch! Oof. I mean, okay, let's get down and take a nice long look at all this. I really should just make like dirt stairs inside. That'd probably be much more effective. Okay, fine, I'll pick these up. And our new house is coming along. That's a lot of empty space. That's a lot of empty space. Okay, you know what? I think I know what to do here. I know what to do here. No balcony. We have it like lift up. So there's still like a second room above here, but it doesn't go conflict with this. Yeah, that's probably gonna be what I do. Okay, wait for it to sleep, then we, oh boy, sleep, and then I think I'm gonna call it so I can rest and lie in bed. Ugh. So yeah, that was my stream back from my very short-lived hiatus. Technically, I would say I still am on hiatus, cause well, it's not like I'm back to my original streaming schedule where I tried to always do Monday and Wednesday as well. I'll probably be streaming only on Saturdays from 3 p.m. or I will try my best to stream on Saturdays 3 p.m. You know, have some consistency and still stream around, because I do enjoy this, and I think I have going to college, actually going to college and learning or getting educated in a subject I enjoy that I can then talk about and yap about to you as I learn more about it. Like, I think that's really nice, you know? But enough reminiscing, manapapa. I've been ClockworkCartoon, and